And we're live again.
Yet again, technical difficulties on my behalf. But anyways, what a birthday month slash week and a half, 2 weeks it's been. John and I were both blessed with two great albums long awaited. We had the Knocked Loose album that just came out, and then the Cycles of Trying to Cope from like Moths to Flames. Year of the Moth, baby. Been saying it the entire time since they started dropping these singles. Started doing it like 2 years ago, or maybe not even 2 years ago, a year ago. Something Prestidigitation, Paradox, and The Dark Side of Heaven. They were amazing tracks. They added a new drummer, Roman, who is a killer on the drums, on the sticks, man. Like, the drum work on this album as a whole is amazing. And lyrically, I think this is truthfully one of the best lyrically written albums I've ever listened to, and I'm going track for track listening to lyrics. So today, John and I both picked our three favorite tracks off of it. We got the lyrics up. We're going to follow along with it, and we're going to review as we go. I know right now as it stands, I know that we're still waiting on Bring Me the Horizon album this year. I know that's coming out sometime middle of the summer. So, it's going to be a tough one. There's a lot of good albums this year, but this one's going to stay at my top 5. I know that for a fact. And as of right now, it's definitely in first place.
Yeah, it was definitely a really amazing album. I like the whole flow of it. I picked for my first song was Angels Weep because it just like starts off with a bang, and it just goes through, like, it flows really well and stuff. I think the anticipation paid off. I think we were a little bit worried that it might, or not worried, a part of me wondered if it would be a little bit like Fatalism, where, like, it was an amazing Polaris album, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like, it didn't flow nearly as well. At least for me, I don't do full playthroughs of that album. Whereas this, so far, I've been very impressed by this one. So
yeah, it's kind of like Current's album, The Death We Seek, where you can play any song and like it just flows. Like, there's nothing that seems out of place, nothing seems out of line. Just lyrically, the amount of work that the guys did on this, it's beautiful, and the instrumentals are great. I really hope that this album fucking blows up, man. I've been a huge like Moths Flames fan for, since probably their existence, man. Like, I love them so much. They come from Columbus, Ohio, not too far from me. I've seen them quite a few times, and I'm just excited, and I really hope that they finally get the reach that they deserve, because this is a band that's stuck true to their nature and quality, and it's kind of like Ronnie Radke. Like, every time they do something new, it's just better and better. It's awesome to see, and I'm just excited to review it.
Yeah, I am. And now, because we're playing through Spotify, we can actually have the lyrics up on screen, which is nice. Gives us an extra touch, because they really are. The lyrics of this album are so well crafted on everything. Sound excellent. It's really, really wonderful. And this one starts off so well. Oh, let's see it. Just that slow build.
It is. It's so good. And then the drums come in and smash your face.
Just the anticipation. Like, as soon as this album dropped, it was... Everything's so tightly, like, in sync. Oh, yeah. man, that drum. You have to do a cover of this.
Dude, I want to so bad.
It's
wonderful.
Yeah. Because it is, the lyrics for this were really great. Just that, like, the escape, like, the themes of paradise and everything. Going in with the album artwork. That, like, the contrast there of it looks
that oil
like,
painting, like, it's so cool.
Ooh, that was really great.
And it's the best part about it is that it just gets better as we go.
Yeah. That's the crazy part, is that was the nice thing, is the singles they dropped were all really incredible, but the whole album, the way it flows into each other and stuff, was very, very impressive with this one and stuff. I was thinking, what was it? The next one was Over the Garden Wall, which was really one of my next favorite tracks. Actually, the thing is, when we were trying to pick top threes of this, it was so hard to narrow it down. Like, a part of me, you could just go through, and each one you'd be like, I could definitely pick this one. So it's like we had to kind of pare things down, because we've reacted to dissociative being. But Over the Garden Wall was that next one that I was like, really great. Because Paradigm Trigger, it's been out for a while. Angels Weep as well and stuff, but this one was really good.
The thing too, Kintsugi was one of the release songs, and that song has some quality lyrical content within it as well. That was one of the singles that they dropped. That one's great as well. It's like you said, like every song on this like album you can kind of just like go to and kind of pick up at any moment and just fucking enjoy it, you know. It's awesome.
Just going through it, because all of them are so well crafted, and the band just plays so tightly together.
Yes,
that's
they do.
Really like everything flows well, and I like the contrasting of they do like the quieter screams there that are in the background, almost like it's quieter even than Of Mice and Men. You know how their screams will be sometimes quieter than the cleans and everything. I like that bounce back and forth. A part of me just wants to go through every song, you know, because it's so hard not to just like pick each one. Because we can give we can go through part of Paradigm Trigger if I don't know. How much time did you have for this?
I don't give a shit. Let's do it.
Let's
go through a little bit of it.
Yeah, let's go through at least a little bit. Check it out.
The sound of stage lightness breaks the lyric scenes I don't recognize. Don't find me at the eyes. Lost in a lucid
love just how balanced everything is. Like every band member shines well.
It's easy to remember the ways it hurt. It can't get much worse since I was parallel to this sea. I thought my body to touch from my soul. Just good visions of a place I'd been afraid to go. The white noise like repeats, calling me the silent stick suspended in time. The blood beyond the eyes, underneath my skin. And through the blood until I found the end. Glimpses of a river runs, knuckles full of feeling. Everything that's separate the life from the mind.
Oh man.
His
And it
drums,
is-
his
yeah.
drums are so goddamn good.
That's what I was
Honest.
thinking. Yeah, because the drums really do drive things so much. Like it isn't the backup. Like it isn't this like. It's a very core part of things. Like there isn't that feel of some things that like the drums almost take a backseat and are just kind of almost like a pacing for the song.
Yeah, like they're guiding it all. But it's
Mhm.
interesting though, because Roman, something I've noticed with Roman, he does like really unique accents.
Mhm.
I think one of these songs that we're listening to, I think has the specific part I'm talking about, but he does like this tom, like this little tom section thing.
Mhm.
But normally where like you would hit like a snare on the downbeat, he's hitting the bell on the ride. And it's just a very unique, different thing. But it's just so tight, it's so crisp. And it doesn't flood the entire mix either.
Mhm.
You know, he's throwing in so many he's throwing in polyrhythms, he's throwing in crazy accents on the cymbals, crazy foot pedal like work, and you know, I've just noticed like they've always had good drummers, you know.
Mhm.
They really have, but I personally think that it's really been blown up with, you know, now adding him into it, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you said, like it really does lead. It really guides you through everything.
Mhm. And that's a part of it. This whole album is just flows so well, like the story it tells, because it really is. The cycles of trying to cope is just like a really interesting concept to like delve into.
It's it's very unique.
Yeah,
Like
it's crazy.
I'm sorry to interrupt. That's why I like it so much. Is just because, like you said, like it is such a it's a crazy topic to even think about, right? But then to write about it and then go to the descriptive levels that they did to write about it, it's just very awesome. You know, this is something that's not often talked about, like death in a sense, right? But they really dive into the entire fishbowl of it.
It's true. It is. Let's jump into the next one. Is there no lyrics option for this one?
I guess not. It's all right.
What?
I said it's time for everybody to just bang their fucking head.
I know. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. Dude, those lyrics though, I love the I tried to hide from the world I built until it died. That's
I just can't. I cannot. Like, I'll have you all know. I texted John. I was like, you know, we wanted to do this like the day that it came out, and then it just didn't work out. And I was like, dude, like we have to at least check it out ourselves. Like we have to.
Mhm.
You know, the anticipation's killing me. And I texted John as soon as I was done with it. I'm like, dude, this album brought me to tears, bro. It's like it's so good. Just everything about it. Like I love it. And the thing I love about this song specifically is that it like if you're an old like Moths and Flames fan, it sounds a lot like their older stuff.
Mhm.
You know? And I like that. I admire that so much. I don't know if that was like the point, but it's like I don't know. It's like that classic like Moths and Flames sound that everybody kind of grown to love. You know, back then when they first started dropping, you know, like You Won't Be Missed, GNF, you know, all that stuff. Like it's just it's a phenomenally written song. Like I said, the drums, bro. I just cannot get over the drums.
Yeah. And that's the amazing part. It's just the instrumentation, but also the lyrics of I just love just the way it goes through of just talking about am I just unwell these days? I'm not myself and it feels like I'll never change. Too late for me. Nothing's healing the hurt. Am I just unwell these days? It is, because it does feel that way sometimes. If you've ever struggled with mental health, there is that just feeling like something's off. And I think it's interesting that they do have like the song that we went through a while back, Dissociative Being. Just it's interesting the way they talk about wrestling with emotional struggles and stuff. Like this one especially just hit really close to home because there is just that feeling of I think the at least for me, I the ones that really stuck out to me was boarded up the windows to block out the lights. I tried to hide from the world I built until it died. Because sometimes I do. It's weird because I am I seem extroverted, like at least online and everything, but people can be kind of exhausting and stuff. And it's interesting to someone who kind of just gets really frustrated with social media at times. Like it's interesting to think about that concept of just like hiding from the world you built till it died. Of just like that needing to escape and hunker down. Because we've talked about it in a previous episode and stuff that kind of like that's how at least when things aren't going well, like it's easy to just kind of detach from everything and almost just go into this like I mean that's the whole concept of this album is cycles of trying to cope, and this one's a perfect example of that, just like that stuck feeling and just kind of like hunkering down, kind of like trying to weather the storm and everything. So this one definitely really, really hit me. And the instrumentation, like I love that sound, the way it flows was so good. The next one we were talking about was Shepherd's Crown, is one you had mentioned. Because these two, 6 and 7, Shepherd's Crown and To Know Is to Die. I was like,
I
oh
knew.
man.
I knew before I even listened to, like, I almost had like a predisposition of what my top tracks are going to be. Everybody that knows me, they're like, oh, Shepherd's Crown's going to be your number one. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking To Know Is to Die. And like, you know, what do we see when we leave this place? Like, oh my God, why? I'm like, just because, like, think about it. Like, think about that. To know is to die, right? You live your entire life not really knowing if what you're doing is a dream, if it's even reality, if it's real. You don't know. And like, I think that's a concept that everybody kind of teeters with, whether they subconsciously think it or they consciously think it. I think it's still always there in somebody's mind. So you really only will just say no when you're gone, right? From your physical body, right? And I don't know, I just read into it maybe a lot deeper than most do. But I knew from the rip that To Know Is to Die and What Do We See When We Leave This Place, I already knew that those were probably going to be like my top ones. And yeah, they had held true. Shepherd's Crown, of course, it's in the name. It's going to be fucking heavy.
Yeah. I was like, this one. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Jumping into this one. The intensity it starts out with. Those. Dude, this section coming up. So that one, because a part of it, thinking of the album artwork, it's interesting to think of Over the Garden Wall almost being like leaving the Garden of Eden, and talking about this one gets into that, like the collapse of mankind and making this hell your home. Like, it's the lyrics go hard in this one.
I mean, and that's the beauty of this entire album, is that like lyrically every single fucking song is so in depth, right?
Hmm.
And we got you over there that's got it pulled up, ready to describe it to everybody watching. It's like, just if you, I don't know, if you actually like in yourself really enjoy and appreciate lyrical content within your music, as well as like kick-ass sound, this is the album to go to. Because I'm not saying that everything's mundane and just written,
Hmm.
copied and pasted and whatever, but like just it's just like John said, like that line, bro, oh my god.
Yeah, it because it does. This one just like has so many good ones. The also I love the section. The what is it? The I call out to an empty sky to realize I'm alone. Watch as the stars burn out. This hell becomes my home. That whole section is just that, like, kind of following in that theme we were talking about, of that like hunkering down and just like trying to really make peace with where you're at and stuff. I think the feeling, I know a lot of people talk about these days of that concept of like sometimes feeling like no one's coming to save you, but there is that feeling of that's just like you're here. Like this is where you're at right now. And I think that's why it's interesting to look at like the album artwork of just how everything flows around together and stuff. You almost have like what looks like beautiful cherry blossoms and stuff up here and everything, and like scenes of almost peacefulness, and then just like absolute devastation and stuff. I
It's one of
Shepherd's
my
Crown is a
favorite.
banger.
It's one of my favorite artworks too in recent years.
Hmm.
It's funny. Possible top albums of the year both had amazing artwork,
Yeah,
being The Death We Seek.
that's true. Because that is, I think, like that's the neat part is to have something that you have to like look into that's open to interpretation. That you're like thinking of almost looking at it as you go through the songs. How does this flow? Where are we at? Because it is very much like the cycles of trying to cope and everything. Of almost just like going through this whole journey of like burnt up, going like just everything happening. It's just fantastic. And to Know Us to Die, this is like because they bleed into each other so well. Like this was your next one, and this is because you posted it to Instagram, and I was like, I knew it. I was like, Cam's gonna love this one. Hmm. I don't know why they refused to put up the lyrics after like the first two.
Spotify, man.
Spotify, you fucked us. God, those lines though. A leg built on ruins and piles of innocence. How the fuck do we live like this? that section. That one. Every song is just so good. Now that I go through it, I'm like, I should have picked that one, but you picked it, and we're going through it anyways.
I
Oh,
love it, bro. I really
Yeah.
do. I don't want to say that I was shocked because I wasn't. I expected this to be every bit of
mhm.
what it was, and it's just so well put together, guys.
Mhm.
If you're still with us, check these guys out for the love of God. If you haven't, if this is your first time, like, I'm telling you, dude, these guys have been doing it. They know what's up. I'm telling you, they don't. I don't think they have a bad song in the discography. They're kind of like Knocked Loose, honestly.
Mhm.
Knocked Loose doesn't have a bad song.
Yeah. I think this one, just the whole story and stuff. Just this one really gets into it. Of just so many really amazing lines out there. Everything, but just the how the fuck did we live like this?
I think one of my favorites is "Kill Every Thought of a Conscious Mind." I love that.
Hmm.
I love when people dive into consciousness, unconsciousness, subconscious. Love that. But this line right here, actually, it would be, I guess, it would technically be these two lines. Created by a hand left to be destroyed. Are we all victims of torture or victims of choice? A life built on ruins and piles of innocent. How the fuck do we live like this? I refuse to let the sky be my grave. The sun collides with the earth, so tell me who's to blame. We're all sculpted from dirt without a blank state. We've been designed to fail. It was always our fate.
Mm.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
that is just fucking chef's kiss, my boy.
Mm-hmm. Because that's
Chef's kiss.
that is, yeah. It hits on so many levels. Because very much that everything about that, like, just so poetic, and just
It is.
interested to just think of, like, just this idea of just like, are we all the victims of torture, victims of choice? Of like that's intense. And I still, the a life built on ruins and piles of innocence. How the fuck do we live like this? It's like real American empire hours.
American dream.
Oh, I'm like, good lord. But this one, oh man. As soon as you posted this one, I was like, this is going to be one of the top ones. And that's the main thing, is I think the best part about this album is you're saying it's a 10 out of 10. There are no weak songs on this album. Like, we're not skipping anything because it's not a good song. We're just trying
there's
to
not a
like
weak
go
song.
through of like these steps. Because we both agreed on the next one, The Depths I Roam, was also just
That one's deep.
yeah. This one gets you.
That one's lyrically really deep.
Are you ready for it? I
All
love
right,
how
let's do
they
it.
just stopped showing the lyrics after the first one we listened to for whatever reason. the separation divides, I'll always be misunderstood. I just love how they enunciate everything, though. It's so clear going through this album. I like the little interlude on this part.
The more I say, the less I wanna know. What's above is not what's below. It gets darker the deeper I go. The more I say, the less I believe. What's above is not what's below. These are the depths I roam.
Yeah,
Mm.
that. Both of us picked out that song, and it was like had so many good lines through it, and just the way like the lyrics come through so clearly in every part, which is what I loved. Of just like just the absolute poetry of that one. But this one, oh man, this one
I-
really gets you.
I like, of course, the opening line where he starts with feeling the skin so I can shed the scars, remove the limb, da 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 da. But it's the second part where it's I should have known to never trust anyone but myself. I should have known to never ask for help. It did more harm than good. The separation divides. I'll always be misunderstood. I don't understand. Like, I don't think there's a lyric that could resonate with anybody more. And I'm talking about everybody.
Hmm.
How many times have you tried to explain yourself to somebody and they just don't understand it, or they're just
Mhm.
ignorant to it, or oblivious, unaware, ignoring to the fact just of how you're feeling, as if
Mhm.
your feelings aren't validated, right? Everybody's been in that position, right? But so like there's a deep lyric and meaning to that verse or whatever, but the last, like the interlude where it says, the more I see, the less I want to know. What's above is not what's below. It gets darker the deeper I go. The more I see, the less I believe. What's above is not what's below. These are the depths I roam. I like that ending line because like what I personally think, how it translates in my mind, is you're always on this path of trying to gain as much knowledge with everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, the deeper that you dig, you know, it's kind of like you don't go looking for something you don't want to see, right? Because you're going to be upset every time. But it's almost like you've gotten too smart. I wouldn't say smart. You've gained too much knowledge on the truth, and the truth oftentimes sucks. So when you find out what the truth is, you don't know what to believe anymore because it's all written right there in stone, but you're told otherwise. And it's like it gets darker the deeper he goes into trying to figure out what, like, honestly, what I think is his reality. You know, and I admire that. I think that's super cool. I think it's super unique. It's like it's written like a goddamn poem. Every song, it's awesome.
It does, and it just like the way the vocals are structured and everything just flows so well. Of like the things that they decide to emphasize and everything just like highlight things so well. And I think this song definitely hit us both because there is that like feelings of just like trying to cope and just going deeper into the darkness sometimes. Because it is like, I think one thing, at least for me, sometimes of like struggling with mental health and stuff, like there are those amazing highs. Like we were actually talking about, like you saw Boundaries recently, and then I saw Sleep Token 2 weeks ago now on May 3rd. And just that feeling of like when things are so amazing, it's hard that crash afterwards when you just go back to normal life and like back to the depths that you roam in and stuff. I think can be easy of like, I think like it's nice sometimes like because I feel like I mentally get to experience some like mountain peaks that not everyone gets to be at, but then those depths, once you crash from that and the depths you roam, like that's what really gets you and stuff, at least for me, of just like getting deeper into those things of kind of struggling with like what do you do after like having amazing experiences and you go back to normal life or the harder parts of life and stuff, because it is such a stark contrast and everything. It's like, at least for me, like it's almost hard to feel anything of like it's amazing to like go to a good show like that and stuff, but then to like the rest of the week was kind of hard to adjust to after that, like even wanting to like get out of bed and stuff, because it is just like normal life can be frustrating and taxing.
Yeah, it's normal, mundane boringness that you just live in autopilot, and
it gets you.
You know, every day never ceases to surpass the others until you have moments like that where you can go to a show. You can, you know, I always say, you know, when I'm at a concert, my soul or my spirit's at peace, right? That's what it feels like to me, right? And so I can agree. Because I had the same thing. I was like, yeah, dude, like I feel nothingness. Like I get it. I just think this album, everybody can relate to it a lot. If, you know, you sit there, I mean, you don't even have to fucking try to break it down to the direct correlations that we are, right? But, you know, just the title or just the tracks are very self-explanatory of what you're going to be kind of walking into, right?
Yeah, it is. And just the way it flows in this ending, though, this is just like the perfect bookend for this album.
This song made me tear up. This song made me tear up.
When we leave this place, because it is like it gets you. I'm getting harassed by Pop Tart right now, our fattest cat. And she's
Pop Tart.
Yeah, Pop Tart. It's nice because I want to pick her up, but if I have headphones, she'll try to bite the cords, and she has sharp little teeth. So, what do we see when we leave this place?
The song is so deep.
The Father said, God is a mystery, for Christ of my life.
I love the ambient energy. That.
Perfection.
Yeah. The end cap.
It's perfect. I don't care. It's perfect. It's a perfect album. It really is. It's a 10 out of 10. It really is. I don't drop that much for albums. Full LP. This is a full length album, and it fucking smacks the hammer on the nail, brother.
Yeah. It really does. It's perfect flow.
So, with that being said, guys, check it out. Shout out the boys. Share it. Show your friends. Like Moths to Flames. Be a fan now. Check this out. Check this album out yourself. Dive into it. Thanks for watching. We're going to review Knocked Loose. You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to next. So, John, anything else for the fam?
No, that was just incredible. The lyrics that really hit me on that one are just I feel the weight of everything I've had to carry alone, the cycles of trying to cope. That just sums up the whole album of just all of those things. They're just yeah, it hits just so hard. But perfect album. Definitely check it out. It's real emotional.
It's about as real as it gets.
Yeah, this last song, just listening to it, I only listened to it once earlier because it was just got me too hard. Of just some of those lines were just so much, so heavy. But fantastic album. And thank you guys for stopping by, of course.